There's something special about these trees. It's the way they look, the character they have, the presence they have in the landscape, the smell, the touch, the feel. There's no other trees like them. These trees have spirit. They've got presence. When people meet these trees, they can't help but be filled with a sense of awe. They are elders in the landscape. There isn't anybody I've brought here who doesn't feel it. There's something that makes people feel they have a relationship to these trees, that touches people in a special way. This is Lutruwita, Tasmania. And these are Waialina, cider gums, the weeping trees.
I'm an artist, lecturer and researcher at the University of Tasmania. I take photographs of places and make images that speak to how places and ecologies change. When I was growing up, my uncle had a shack on the Central Plateau. We spent a lot of time up there, standing by campfires, walking or fishing in atmospheres of sleet and cloud and rain. It is an environment I have long loved and visited, a haunting world of incredible beauty. It was a place that got under my skin at a young age, and one that continues to resonate with me. It was there I first encountered and was captivated by the cider gums and their lyrical, gentle and poetic presence. I've always been drawn to trees and enjoyed their company. As a kid, I lived in trees, but there is something special about resting beneath the cider gum with its cathedral of limbs enveloping you. Over the decades, this environment has slowly changed. Fishermen tell you as much. The climate is shifting, the insects diminishing, the ecological patterns changing. You can't anticipate it anymore. The geometry of the ecological mosaic is being eroded. A slow decay occurring in organisms at such a tiny level, slowly collapsing the balanced entanglement of life that holds these sensitive ecologies together. Walking on the plateau, through bone gardens of bleached wood, I feel a sense of quiet melancholy. There is added weight in the atmosphere, a weight that I feel comes from loss, from an absence of something. These trees, they once narrated and re-narrated memory and story, contain the living span of memory in their arboreal roots. Many of them now lay silent. Those that persist are struggling. Ancient living sentinels, now sun-bleached limbs reaching skyward, ominous harbingers of a future yet to come. I've been influenced by the quantum physicist David Bohm, author of Wholeness and the Implicate Order. He had this deep interest in and love of language structures, and he saw what he considered a fundamental flaw in modern noun-based systems, the false separation of us from the continuum, of humans from nature. It didn't align with his understanding of the world at a quantum level. One error compounding the next, a human fault line of sorts. He advocated instead for a verb-based system based on many indigenous languages around the world. Languages of becoming, where you don't have an age, but an aging, indicating that you are part of a world in constant flow. I'm interested in the thinking of Indigenous cultures that place value on kinship, on embracing the living and non-living, and on languages of belonging, in ways of affecting the public through image making to foster new attitudes and opinions in achieving change. How do we read environmental changes through the landscape? And how do we engage meaningfully with it based on access and control of these spaces? My work is intuitive, a slow process of discovery through immersion, listening and attuning myself to the qualities of place, understanding how the landscape writes and rewrites itself, a palimpsest where each layer influences the next. This carries to making images, not a single moment extracted from the whole, rather an image composed of multitudes, with hundreds of images oscillating on a shimmering reflective surface, elusive, changeable, and every now and then revealing something new. I love going to places and experiencing them, allowing them to guide me on a path of discovery. For me, spending time in places without wanting anything is important. I wouldn't make a very good botanist. I'm not interested in what something's name is, but rather what it says to me, what its qualities are. If I were to categorize anything, I think everything would have very long names. I don't like the idea of being a hunter, on the lookout for something to capture, and it is not how I use the camera or photography in my work. I like the quiet unfolding that comes through immersive experience, where the rhythms, harmonies and discords of an atmosphere or environment form its own language and poetry, if you're willing to listen. When I look towards the future, I recognise the need for a significant rethinking of the way we inhabit this planet. We can't continue along the lines of a world that is sold to us as being real, not without tremendous cost. It is an astonishing world of relations, and change, like a cloud or idea forming, is the outcome of billions and billions of small things coming together. It seems to me we still have so much to learn and to heal. I must believe this change is possible. I sometimes worry that this view isn't shared on the scale that's needed. Not if we're going to affect the change that's required.